Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the July 6, 2026 Crest Hill City Council meeting to order at 7 o'clock p.m. I would ask that everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. And tonight we have the honor and privilege of having 13-year-old Demolay, Mr. Peter Townsend is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to America on its 250th birthday.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Peter. Okay, roll call, please, Chris.
Ray Solomon.
Here.
Jamie Malloy.
I'm here.
Scott Dyke.
Here.
Angelo Desario.
Here.
Darrell Jefferson.
Here.
Claudia Gazal.
Here.
Tina Oberlin.
Present.
Mark Spitty.
Here.
Nate Elbert.
Here.
Joe Kubal.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along to number 4. We do not have any agenda items for agenda item number 4. We do have 21 consent agenda items tonight. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make any comment in regards to any one of the 21 consent agenda items? Please step to the podium, state your name for the record, and your address is optional. Let the record show that no one has approached the podium. With that, we'll move on to agenda item number 6, and that will be the reading of the 21 items. But first, I will ask, are there any voting members of the City Council that would like to have any one of the 21 items removed for further discussion?
I just have a correction. Can I give you that, or do I have to remove it?
Sure, you can be correction.
Okay, on the minutes.
Which one?
June 15th,
Okay.
page 149. It's just more of a clarification. When I was thanking people, the way it's written, it looks like Don, Pete, John, and Henry, Thompson, the people from Demolay, looked like I was listing them as Public Works, and their name wasn't there, and I wanted them to be noticed that it was the Demolay people.
Okay, we'll rewrite that and send it off to you, and
I appreciate that. Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, Mayor. I'd like to have F, G, and H.
F,
G and H.
G, and H. Okay, anybody else? Okay, we will begin with the reading then of the remaining items. So there is a lot, so please bear with me this evening. Consent agenda item 6A, approve the minutes from the work session held on June 8th, 2026. Consent agenda item 6B, approve the minutes of the City Council meeting held on June 15th, 2026 with the corrections that were just spoken about. Consent agenda item 6C, approve the minutes of the work session meeting held on June 22nd, 2026. Consent agenda item 6D, Police Pension Board appointment, Mr. Bill Barler, for a 2-year term expiring May 1st, 2028. Consent agenda item 6E, approve a special events police service agreement with the American Italian Cultural Society for August 7th, August 8th, and August 9th, 2026. Consent agenda item 6I, approve a resolution approving an amendment to January 27, 2026 agreement for general services per and polyfluoroalkyl substances PFAS treatment equipment and pilot testing services by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and Strand and Associates Incorporated. Consent agenda item 6J, approve the Backflow Solutions Incorporated agreement to assist in the administration, tracking, and notification requirements associated with the city's backflow prevention program. Consent agenda item 6K, approve the 2026 50-50 tree planting program. Consent agenda item 6L, award the contract to Austin Tyler Construction Incorporated for the 2026 roadway rehabilitation program in the amount of $1,799,817.55. Consent agenda item 6M, approve a resolution for professional services agreement for a 2027 financial plan for water and sewer utility rate update by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and Burns and McDonnell in the amount of $27,700. Consent agenda item 6N, approve a resolution for a professional service agreement for Crest Hill Municipal Park Plaza by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and Spaceco in the amount of $77,800. Consent agenda item 6O, approve a resolution for a professional service agreement for Crest Hill Municipal Park Plaza planning and landscaping by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and RVI Planning and Landscaping in the amount of $60,400. Consent agenda item 6P, approval of change order number 11 from Vissering Construction Incorporated with the direction to send it to the IEPA for approval. Change order will increase the amount of the contract to $51,690. Consent agenda item 6Q, approve a resolution approving the job description for the position of audiovisual and FOIA specialist and authorizing the hiring of Ava Cox as a Police Department AV and FOIA specialist at the salary not to exceed $61,878. Consent agenda item 6R, approve an emergency payment for Public Works biosolids handling at the east and west wastewater treatment plants in the amount of $83,125. Consent agenda item 6S, approval of the 2026 Memorial Day Police Memorial Event Report. Consent agenda item 6T, approval of the 84th Ladies Ceremony 2026 Memorial Report. Consent agenda item 6U, approve the reduction of the March 2026 utility bill to $136.29, noting that the residents are responsible going forward for their usage and bill. A motion would be in order for approval.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Alderwoman Gazal, seconded by Alderperson Overland, for the approval of the consent agenda items as read. Questions or comments?
I just have one comment. On the certificate of liability insurance for the Festa Italiana event, it has the previous address of Old City Hall, 1610 Plainfield Road, if that could be corrected. Page 55.
Okay. To the motion or in a second approval?
Yes.
Mayor, there's also,
Yes.
we also need some clarification on the exact amount of the Austin Tyler bid, because the memo actually has two different numbers, and the agenda may reflect the one that's inaccurate. According to your bid tabulation, Ron,
I'm looking up right now.
I think it's supposed to be 1.766817.
Give me 1 second. That is correct, Nate.
What's the number, Nate?
1.766817.55.
Okay, to the motion and second
Yes.
approval? Okay. With the corrections, Chris, roll call, please.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Andrew Lodasario,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
And Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay, so 6F, 6G, and 6H were asked for further discussion by Alderman Dyke, so I will turn it over to Scott.
Yeah, I unfortunately wasn't able to be at the work session, but looking over the minutes, and I was just wondering with that trailer, how many times in this last year have we had to rent a trailer? Is it 10 times? Is it 50 times? Is it 5 times? You know, I'm just curious as to how many times we had to rent a trailer for what use we might need. You know, so go buy a trailer, you know, and spend that money. I was just curious on. Also, with the police vehicle for the K-9, it does not let us know, and looking over the minutes, it doesn't say which units are getting replaced. It says that we sold 2 units, a 2007 and 2008, but it doesn't let us know which K-9 unit the officer had and that we're replacing, what year it is, how many miles, all that type of thing. And also, my other question on that is, we've been buying all hybrids, and why we're not getting a hybrid for the K-9, I'd like to know, to save on fuel and stuff like that, also maintenance, make the vehicle last longer. Because I know with my hybrid, like just recently, my vehicle shown I drove 5,849 miles, and 2,569 miles of that was electric. So really, my engine only ran for 3,280 miles. So if we can save, you know, wear and tear on the engine and idle time by having that hybrid, I think it's to our benefit. So I'd like to see that be, you know, a hybrid just like the other one, because the other vehicle that we're getting, that we're gonna be replacing, it shows that's gonna be a hybrid. So that's why I'm, you know, questioning this. So we don't know. I looked at what we have so far in our list of squads, and the oldest we have is a 2016. And mileage varies on the units from as low as 20,000 to high as 90-some thousand miles. But the chief, according to him, had told me all our vehicles are hybrids now. So they really shouldn't have 90-some thousand miles of time on the engine. It may have ran that far, but part of that was electric.
I can address the Alderman's concerns.
Okay.
Specifically related to the K-9 car, you had a question about which K-9 car are we going to replace, and we've made the decision to keep the current car as a spare K-9 car. So we had a couple mechanical issues with the current K-9 vehicle, and when we have those issues and that vehicle is being serviced and out of service, we cannot have the dog working, and the dog cannot be on the street. So we made the decision, because we've had a couple of those problems, to keep a K-9 car as a spare car, so that if we do have a vehicle that's the new K-9 car, we would have a spare car, so we wouldn't be in that situation where the dog has to sit at home in those instances when we've had vehicle service. So that was one of the main reasons that we're keeping that. As far as to address your concern about the hybrid, I think everybody was on board. Everybody's very in favor of the hybrids. They save engine hours, a substantial amount of engine hours, substantial amount of gas. The problem with the hybrid for a K-9 car is that the car will shut off. And what we've discovered is that we can't have a car, the car has to constantly run for the dog to be in it, as it relates to like the air conditioning. So if it's like it's been out here, it's been 100 degrees, and we can't have a car that shuts down, because that's what the hybrids do. They just kind of shut down, and then they start back up, and they shut down and they start back up. So the recommendation was that we go to a non-hybrid car for the K-9 to avoid those potential problems. Obviously, we want to not have a hot car and have the K-9 in there. And so the idea going forward is that we are totally in favor of the hybrids, but when it comes to the K-9 car, that's one of the reasons that we decided against it. And I think everybody was on board with that reasoning.
What year is the current K-9 vehicle?
I couldn't tell you that right off the top of my head.
And
But-
is that one a hybrid currently?
No, no.
Well, I'd like to have the answers to all that. To know, you know, have these questions answered before I vote on it, because I'm not getting all the information, so I'd like to know, you know, what we're replacing, what we're...
Well, again, we're not replacing the K-9 car. We're going to keep it as a spare. So we're going to keep it for those reasons, because, again, we don't want to have the dog stay at home if the car is serviced. And the other thing that we have run into, unfortunately, is I don't remember if it was a year or two ago, but we had brand new squad cars that were in accidents, and they were not our fault. You know, officers the other units were the at-fault vehicles, but those cars are still down for a long time before it takes time to get them repaired and we have to send it off to insurance. So heaven forbid, you know, a car gets into an accident and it's not even our fault. Now we don't have the dog working at all because we don't have a spare canine car. And so by maintaining that spare car, I think we're doing our due diligence to make sure the dog is on the road as best as it can. And so that's the reason why we would not be replacing the canine car.
All right, but as far as the other vehicle that we're buying, I know last year we got 3 new squads.
Right. I could also, I can't answer all these questions, but I know in speaking with the gentleman from Public Works, they've been doing a really good job of, there has been some auction vehicles. I can't speak to how many have been auctioned recently, but, you know, that was a program that was kind of put on pause. And so now that we are getting a little bit current on these, we're able to auction off cars that are not being used as much. And like I said, I can't give you the specifics on how many cars have been auctioned, but I know they've been doing a much better job on kind of cycling those cars out. I unfortunately don't have the specifics, but we can get you that information. But
Well, I know in the minutes it showed that 2007 and 8, those were recently sold.
Okay.
So those were older units.
Mhm.
But I'm just wondering as to, you know, purchasing another new vehicle, not talking the canine unit, but I know we got 3 new ones last year. That's why I was curious as to what we're replacing or, you know.
Yeah, and again, one of the things, I'm not a mechanic, I can't speak to all that. I know one of the things that they have talked to us about is engine hours, and that there's a combination of vehicle mileage and engine hours, and that number shouldn't exceed like 350,000. And a number of our vehicles are kind of above that. And so I think we're trying to get to that point. And obviously purchasing hybrids are going to help because like we've talked about before, it cuts drastically on those engine hours and it's a huge gas saving. But we're trying to cycle some of those old cars out and get new hybrids in to kind of keep the current fleet as well equipped with hybrids as we can.
Well, I know the chief had mentioned that we should, after, you know, these were sold, these older ones, they should all be hybrids, all what we have
Correct.
currently on the force. So that's why I'm asking, you know.
And
as
the
to-
only reason we are not getting one for the canine is because we can't afford to have the dog in the car with the engine shutting off and shutting on and having the dog, whether it's super hot outside or super cold inside. So that's the reason that we're going to a regular gas engine with that vehicle.
That's fine, but the other, I'm looking at some of the other vehicles here in the odometers, and the one with the highest is 98,000. So a hybrid, that ain't gonna have 98,000 miles on the engine because part of that's electric. So that's what you know, I'm concerned that we're, you know, not getting full use and we're replacing a vehicle that's fully, you know, able to continue to be used.
Understood. And
Because I
again,
know with other, you know, departments in the area, some of them departments have units that have 160, 180,000 miles on them. And we don't have anything that's even over 100,000.
I can certainly share that information with you as to the formula, the over 350,000 when it comes to engine hours. And again, don't quote me exactly, but I think like an hour of runtime is equivalent to approximately 33 engine miles. So there is a formula. Please don't quote me on it, but I do know that magic number is 350 and 350,000. We have a number of cars in the fleet that are over that number, and that's why we're looking to replace them.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we did have extensive discussion, one of the last 2 work sessions in regards to these 3 items. The majority of city council was in favor of the purchase of these 3 items, so I will ask with the discussion that we had and the answers that were given, is there anyone that would like to make a motion for approval of the 6F, 6G, and 6H?
What was
Should
also
we do them
asked about-
separately or altogether?
I would say take them separately.
Okay, anybody like to make a motion?
Mayor, if I could
Sure.
do a point of information just to answer the question regarding to item F, which is the trailer. I'm not aware of any rentals. However, I know Gary and his team, our Public Works Director, did review the pieces of equipment that do travel slow that they plan on using the trailer for. And they expect to see the return on the investment within 5 years. Again, these vehicles travel maybe a half a mile to 5 miles an hour, and it takes time to get it from one location to the other. The trailer does have a life expectancy of 20 years, and they expect to see the savings of basically the equipment, not the miles run on that equipment, as well as the time saved for employees within 5 years. So I'm not aware of any rental of trailers that they've needed, but he's looking at getting pieces of equipment to locations faster and not wearing down that equipment to get it from point A to B and to be able to move it much quicker.
I thought we had something that we were using to move these units, because, to move a scissors, lifter, that goes slow, and to move it from down there to here, it's gonna take how long, I would think that we have a trailer, and I thought we had a trailer that we were using to move it.
We don't have the trailer that has the ability, the hydraulics to drop down. And that's what Gary and his team are looking at, this air tow trailer. The other trailers, what they've been using are the boards to allow some pieces of equipment, not all of the pieces of equipment that this would be able to handle.
Blaine, I had the same concern as you, but I called Gary and he explained they're totally different trailers. There's no comparison at all between one another. I also wanted to confirm that this trailer was not bought for the police golf cart, whatever you want to call it, and he said has nothing to do with it. He was not aware, even because he wasn't here at the meeting, he was not aware that we purchased that particular vehicle.
That's correct.
Yeah.
He did not have that listed as one of the pieces of equipment that he was and his team were looking at needing this trailer for.
Okay. I would ask for a motion for approval for consent agenda item 6F, the approval to purchase a new 2027 Airtow T14-12 trailer in the amount of $21,530.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Desario for approval. Questions or comments? Roll call, please, Chris.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Angelo Desario.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, I'd ask for a motion for approval for consent agenda item 6G, approval to purchase a new 2027 Ford Police Interceptor utility, including a comprehensive K-9 equipment package in the amount of $63,707.87.
So move. Second. Which one do you want? I'll take the second, you're the first.
We have a motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal for approval. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
I'm gonna have to vote no, because I don't know if we're replacing a vehicle, and if we're replacing a vehicle, is there any equipment that we can take off the vehicle we're getting to put on this new vehicle to save some money?
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, and finally, we have consent agenda item 6H. I would ask for a motion for approval to purchase a new 2027 Ford Police Interceptor.
Excuse me, that last one I meant yes, it's the next one I wanted to ask that question, that's the reason. So I'm fine with G, yes.
All right, 6G, one more time. Approval to purchase a new 2027 Ford Police Interceptor utility, including a comprehensive K-9 equipment package in the amount of $63,707.87.
So yes, I vote yes,
All right.
yes on that.
Okay, so I would ask for a motion for consent agenda item 6H, approval to purchase a new 2027 Ford Police Interceptor utility, including a comprehensive patrol equipment package in the amount of $59,457.13.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Desario, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal. Questions or comments of the motion? Roll call, please.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
This is the one I meant to say, that I'm concerned that if we're getting rid of a unit, if there's items we can use off of the unit we're getting rid of to save some money. for this new unit, because an Explorer hasn't changed in all the years, except maybe tail lights or that, so I'd like to vote no, because I don't know if we're replacing one, if this is just an added one. So without knowing those answers to those questions, no.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay, that takes care of all of the consent agenda items. We do have a couple of guests in the audience this evening. If we go back to, just for a second, to the Police Pension Board appointment, we have Mr. Bill Barler here. Certainly would like to introduce him again to council. We had him here a few weeks ago. He just would like to make a few comments. Bill?
Just wanted to thank you folks for your confidence in me, and I will do my best to represent the city of Crest Hill, the Crest Hill Police Department, and the Pension Board. So, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Any questions?
Congratulations, and thanks
Thank you.
for your commitment to serve. Okay, we also have, if we go back to 6E, is the Special Event Police Service Agreement for American Italian Cultural Society, August 7th, 8th, and 9th. Dan Brandolino is here this evening. Dan, if you'd like to say anything? Give a little.
Nothing I haven't said last time, but I'll go over our schedule again. Thank you again, everyone, for everything you guys are doing for us. We appreciate it. This will be our 26th annual Festa Italiana. We were voted Best Festival in Will County last year. We've been voted Best Festival a few times and one of the best festivals. So again, everything you guys do for us, it helps us out, and we're really excited to do this. Our dates are Friday, August 7th from 5 to 11, Saturday, August 8th, 5 to 11, Sunday, August 9th, Mass at 11, procession at 12, and then the event starts from 12 to 9 p.m. We are doing a full menu all 3 days. No partial menu on Friday. It's a full menu all 3 days. And our band lineup is Friday, August 7th at 5:30, Don't Matter to Me, followed by Pearl Snap at 8:30. Saturday, we have Vito Zotto at 5 p.m., Cadillac Groove at 7:30. Sunday is our outdoor mass and procession at 11, Ross Falia at 12, Pasta Eating Contest at 2:30, Jersey Girls at 3, and Hoodwinked at 5:30. We got our raffles, all our food, our bakery, and everything else going on, so appreciate everything.
Any questions or comments to Dan?
Good luck this year.
Just the weather, as long as,
Well, I know.
that's all I need.
We don't need 95 degrees.
Or
I'll
4,000
take
inches of
95
rain.
degree. We don't need the weather, the rain and storms.
No rain, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I'll get with you on the licenses.
Yes. We'll touch base. Are you going to stick around or no?
If I can you get them tonight?
Pardon me?
Can you get them tonight?
I have them on my desk, yeah.
If you can get them tonight, I'll wait, because I gotta get them to the city or the state within 30 days here.
Okay. Just sit tight, let us get through this, and then I'll run back there and grab it for you. Okay, moving on to reports and communication from departments and elected officials. First one is the mayor's report. I do not have anything on the agenda this evening. If there are any questions, I'll try to answer them. Hearing none, we'll move on to our city clerk's report. Chris?
First, do you want all the resolution numbers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. 6I, Resolution 1430. 6M, Resolution 1431. 6N, Resolution 1432. 6O, Resolution 1433. 6Q, Resolution 1434. And that's all.
Okay, thank you.
And I do actually have a little thing to say. I'm going to start the announcing of the shred event. The city of Crest Hill and Lockport Township government will be holding a free community shred event Saturday, October 24th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And it will be held in the parking lot here at City Hall. We ask that you have a limit of 4 boxes. And that's all I have to report.
Okay, any questions of city clerk?
It's just shred, it's not electronics and stuff, just shred?
Just shred.
Okay, thank you.
Huh?
All right, thanks, Chris. Moving on to our city treasurer's report, Jamie Malloy. Jamie?
Thank you. I'm starting out with an approval of the list of bills issued through July 7th, 2026, in the amount of $2,297,115.55.
Mayor, we do need a motion and a second, and then we need to
Okay,
vote
is there a
on it.
motion for approval of the list of bills in the amount of $2,297,115.55?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderwoman Gazal, seconded by Alderman Jefferson. For approval, questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Next is the approval of regular and overtime payroll from June 1st, 2026 through June 14th, 2026, in the amount of $319,298.60.
Again, as these are expenditures, we do need to have a.
Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Alderman Jefferson, seconded by Alderman Dyke for approval of the regular and overtime payroll from June 1, 2026 through June 14, 2026 in the amount of $319,298.60. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
and Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Then I have an approval of an additional regular and overtime payroll from June 15th, 2026 through June 28th, 2026, in the amount of $321,854.45.
Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Jefferson, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal for approval of an additional regular and overtime payroll from June 15, 2026 through June 28, 2026 in the amount of $321,854.45. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
and Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Then I wanted to go over and let you know that I am just about done going through the 7,000 pages of documents that were submitted for the forensic audit. Basically, what I've been looking for is how much was made, how much was spent, and what was the profit. So far, I have not come up with any of those. The things that I am coming up with, though, I'm very surprised about. I went through emails today where the subject header jumped right out at me because the subject was "the elastic in my panties." This is on City of Crest Hill email that anybody can FOIA, and I don't know why it's there. But there we go. Then I've got 11 pages, well, actually 11 bills that have been submitted for a vase. And 11 times the same bill got put through, and I don't know why. Again, we've got 2 bills for the Crest Hill Women's Civic League. Same bill date, same amount, $725.20 for Giovan's. 2 copies of the bill. Then I went through and came up with Women's Civic League celebrates its 50th. And there's a sample ballot of the original ballot from 1960, which fun to look at, but I don't know why that's included for a forensic audit. We still have UROC came through twice. And then we've got pictures that the Crest Hill Chamber of Commerce.com got put through 4 times. And I don't know why the forensic auditors would want to look at those 4 times. But they're all there. And then I've got a coupon for Plato's Closet and Once Upon a Child. That was submitted twice. Crest Hill Chamber of Commerce, there's 2 for that one. Same thing. Then we have some wonderful pictures here of some very nice looking gentlemen, and I don't know why the forensic auditors would like to see them, but there they are. We're back to our M&Ms again. We have 2 of those. The food pantry got placed 4 times. Larry George and his wife Katie, there's 4 of the same picture. Once would have done it if the forensic auditors had to look through it. I don't know why we needed 4 of them, but there are a lot of pictures that don't need to be put in. I don't know what that has to do with a forensic audit, but I've got maybe about 200 pages left. I can't wait to see what I come up with next. And that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Any questions of the treasurer? All right, moving on to our city attorney, John Rodak, new father. Congratulations, Mr. Rodak, to you and your wife on your newborn, 2 weeks old.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Nothing for the city attorney to report. Happy to answer any questions you all might have.
Any questions of city attorney?
Well, congratulations again. The picture is beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, John. City administrator, Blaine Wing. Blaine?
Thank you, Mayor. I have 3 items. The first item is on page 281. It's in regards to the IML discussion that was continued from last year back in October. I'm going to read through the various bullet points. The request tonight, though, is to approve and implement the elected officials' training and conference policy as outlined via these bullet points. So I'm just going to read through them. Again, this starts off on page 281 in the packet. As of July 6, 2026, the policy would have all registrations for training and conferences run through the administrative assistant position, currently Maribel. Maribel will register all of the above people for conferences and trainings, hotels, parking, and per their emailed request to register and cancel. So again, elected officials would need to email, so it's documented in writing the request either to register or to cancel. All transportation being, again, we listed, for example, trains, buses, Ubers, taxis, mileage up to $100 per day would be by reimbursement. Expense receipts for food, snack, incidental expenses receipts are needed for reimbursement up to $100 per day with the $300 limit for the IML conference. If somebody needs to cancel for a non-emergency reason, the specific elected official shall reimburse the city for all expenses. The city will attempt to cancel without incurring expense. Next, if somebody chooses to not attend a training or conference for at least the 2-day minimum, that person would need to reimburse the city. Next, if somebody leaves the conference or training early, not meeting the 2-day except for an emergency, they would need to reimburse the city for the conference or training, the hotel, parking costs on a pro rata basis. And then finally, a report of all expenses will be created by the Finance Department and presented to City Council within 45 days of the conclusion of the training or conference. And I guess technically there's one other one. Any request for an exception to the discussed policy would need to be discussed and voted on by the City Council.
I have one question.
Sure.
What about as far as tips, because, you have a bellman, you have, different people, valet, Are tips gonna be part of what we get reimbursed for?
So those would fall underneath the incidental expenses.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, because it wasn't spelled out,
Yep.
so just thought I'd ask the question.
Sure, yep.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
I am, I'm still kind of perplexed about the food expense receipts. Instead of just giving a per diem, you know, and collecting receipts, per diem allows you to, if the person spends their money, whatever way they spend it, that's all they're gonna get. But this is the only place I've ever been associated with that I had to bring back receipts for food I ate.
Yeah, again, staff recommended just doing the per diem, but during the discussion, there was direction from council, the majority of council, to have receipts and to have the limit not at the $92 and whatever the cents the IRS was recommending, but to keep it, what's been our past practice is a limit of $100 per day.
Right, and if that's what you get for per diem, how you dispense with it is your own personal business as opposed to gathering receipts. I mean, you know, it's fifth grade stuff.
That would be easier for staff, but again, that was not the direction that council provided.
Oh, I'd like to rethink that.
You're
because
part of
it's-
council, so you definitely can have that history discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody up here is an adult, but, you know, they would apply their per diem accordingly. If there's been any abuse, we know who did the abuse, so why not point out those particular people as opposed to spreading it around on everyone?
Well, when we talked about this, Claudia, you were in agreement that for transparency, we should keep the receipts the way we're doing it so that they can see what we spent and what we spent it on, and I agree with that.
Absolutely.
I agree with that also. This way, by having a receipt for what you spent for breakfast or whatever it may be, or lunch or whatever, you hand in that receipt. I have no problem with that. I've done it all the years I've been sitting up there. I even got my past one here with all my receipts from last year. I made copies of them. This way I have it for my records. And this way, if someone were to ever ask me, I have the receipts right here. And what was mine, what I paid for, and how much it costed for whatever it may be, incidental, whether I got something as a snack or I got a cup of coffee. But I can tell you this, I know where I go for breakfast, I don't get steak, I don't get anything fancy, just an omelet with hash browns, and it comes with a pancake or whatever, and I don't get any coffee with that. And my bill after tax and tip is around $31 to $32 each year.
Well, not only
It's a
that,
place
most,
that, all it is breakfast and
yeah,
lunch.
and
I'm
most
not
of the
getting
time
anything fancy.
we eat there if we get the chance, if there was some food left over, because there's the lunches, people like, they fight for them, so most of the time we eat there, so we don't have to spend taxpayer money, and when there is no food, then we purchase, so. And if somebody come and ask anything, we have receipts, so just because it's taxpayer, you don't want anyone question you where the money is going. So that's why I
Right, how
prefer
you
to do
spent
it that
it.
way. Yeah, and how you spend it.
I don't know. I can't imagine a resident asking me what I had for breakfast. I don't know, it's just me, maybe. We
someone
want
will.
transparency on something. It's not, if we gonna be transparent, let's be totally transparent. This is like a
Well, I
pick
have
and
copies
choose
here, if anyone
transparency.
wants to have a copy of my receipts of where I ate and what I had and how much I spent, they're welcome to them. You don't even have to come to City Hall and FOIA them, I'll make you a copy.
Any
I
other
have
que-
nothing to hide.
Any
I
other
mean,
comments or
it's
questions?
not about hiding anything. It's just, it's a per diem. You get $100 a day.
That's what we're getting, $100 a day.
Right, so there's nothing to hide there. If you blow it on bubble gum, that's on you. If you blow it on food, that's what you're supposed to do.
I understand your point, Doral, but the way things are going here lately, it's better to have receipts for everything.
Okay, again, we did have detailed discussion at the work session in regards to this topic, and it seemed like the majority of council were okay with, as it was discussed here this evening. So I would ask, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal, for the IML conference and training policy for elected officials. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
No.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert.
No.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay, next one, Blaine.
Yep, the next one, I'm gonna actually hand it over to Ashley, our Assistant City Administrator / HR. She's been overseeing the process of potentially hiring the city's first administrative intern, and she has some information regarding this item.
All right, well, thank you for the opportunity to, initially, the council approved moving on to participate in a recruitment interview process with the Masters of Public Administration program through Northern Illinois University's MPA program. I did participate in that day. I met with and talked with 4 intern candidates. They are all graduate level students, so everyone has that is participating in that and as an incoming student have qualified for this graduate work. Northern Illinois has one of the top programs in the top 5 in the country for public administration program, and so this would be our opportunity to work with one of those students. I met with a woman named Keisha White. She is generally local to Crest Hills, familiar with the area, you know, has done a lot of things nearby as she grew in the area. And as an incoming student to the program, seemed like an appropriate fit for both the projects and the things that Crest Hill is supportive of. This resolution would approve the hire of the intern for a rate at $20 per hour, and this would be a part-time position working under 1,000 hours for the year. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment, and everyone knows how I feel about this. If we are short in certain departments, you should fill out these vacancies. To me, paying an intern and have an assistant, when an assistant, another assistant needs another assistant, it's going to take time to train this particular assistant, and so I don't understand what is the purpose of this. You need help at the building department. We're like over 12 days, business days, and a wait right now. I have a roofer that submitted information on June 18, and we are July 6, and residents are yelling at me because we haven't got the approval yet. I called today, maybe another 2 days. So this is where you need the vacancy is. You need to cover who needs help, not have an intern going from one department to another. They don't know what we're gonna put them every day. They're gonna wait. What's my test today? What am I gonna do today? That's how I feel. I feel like we need to cover what we need. You need more police, you put more police. We need more patrol, let's put more patrol. That's what we need. Should be the focus, not having assistant for other assistants. That's my comment, and I'm gonna stick to it.
Anybody else? This was discussed in length also at the work session. I would ask for a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by
Nate?
Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderman Kubal, to approve a resolution authorizing the selection and hiring of administrative intern Keisha White at an hourly rate not to exceed $20. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Scott Dyke,
I'm willing to try it for 1 year and see how it goes. Yes.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
No.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
No.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 1435.
All right, and the third and final item that I have, Mayor, is in regards to the update to the county's emergency notification system, and I'm just going to pull up one slide, so the city participates in the Will County Emergency Management Program, and for the past about 8 years, the county emergency management used a software program called Everbridge. As of July 1st, they switched over to the Smart 911, and to not carry over bad data from 8+ years, they have chosen not to really transfer the old information, so they're asking for residents to sign up. We have a link directly on the city's website, but if anybody goes, it goes directly to this page, which is the willcounty911.gov/smart-911, and that's the sign up for this overall program. You'll see on the bottom right-hand side is this Always Be Connected notification. That's the same graphic and image that is on the city's website. Again, I'll jump over to the city's website. We have that same information here. Again, you just click on the link and to sign up. Again, our police will be able to use the reverse 911 functionality of this tool, but residents are able to not just sign up for Crest Hill, but if they want to sign up for other communities neighboring or within the area, this vendor actually is national. So you might be down visiting Nashville, Tennessee, for instance, and Nashville is a community that has this software. So you can sign up, turn it on and off. We do see a lot more capabilities. Our dispatch center also will be able to tie in. So Westcom is excited about this new transition. It will also make it easier for us to geographically, basically geofence certain areas. So if we have a water main break in a certain area, we can actually go down to the street level and just notify the residents that are impacted. So staff is very excited. The county emergency management's very excited. Again, this is more of an infomercial. Please sign up. We'll be promoting this through our social media, through our website, and our upcoming fall-winter newsletter. Again, click on through our website or go directly to the willcounty911.gov site to sign up. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions in regards to the 911 change?
It's a good program. I get a lot of notifications from Romaville also about the weather. Really good.
Yeah, weather alert, and then you can check off the various options that you'd like. So community events, weather, other things. So it's very useful.
Okay, this was just for information only?
Yep.
Okay, anything else, Blaine?
Nope. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of City Administrator? All right, thank you. Moving on to Public Works, we do not have any agenda items. City Engineer, we have our engineer here, Ron Wiedemann. Good evening, Ron.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any report, but I'll answer any questions that council might have of me.
Any questions of Ron?
Do you have any update about Division Street? Because I've had a couple of residents ask.
Yeah, right now, we're waiting for Comcast to finish the relocation. They should be finishing this week, and as soon as they're done, PT Farrell's scheduled to go in and get the surface course in.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Ron. Finance, we do not have any agenda items. Police Department, Deputy Chief Dobsek.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I also do not have any agenda items, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, Ryan? All right, thanks, Ryan.
Do you have any, like an update of how many citations we did for fireworks?
I do.
Can you give us the numbers?
Sure. So I can give you 5 days worth. Basically, the large numbers are, we had approximately 29 to 30 calls for service for fireworks, starting from July 1st to July 5th. We did write 6 citations. One was a written warning, That written warning later became a citation. And so I could break it down per day. On July 1st, we had no calls for service. We did not have a detail. On July 2nd, we had 1 call for service. We did have people working the detail. On Friday, July 3rd, we had either 7 or 8 calls. We did have a detail that night. Both investigators were working that detail. The first 5 calls were self-initiated by the investigators. They did write us, each one wrote a citation. Unfortunately, on the 4th, we did not have anybody working the detail. There were 16 calls for service, but our officers still wrote 3 tickets that day. And then on the 5th, there were 5 calls. One of them was like an assist to the Park District, and so it doesn't appear that anybody wrote any tickets on those days. So I did talk with some of the officers, again, speaking about how, there were certain areas where fireworks are kind of coming from a county's jurisdiction. Specifically when it comes to the Weber and Borio area, there's the county neighborhood to the south there of McGilvery, Thomas, and Mary, where there's a large number of fireworks. And unfortunately, we are not able to take enforcement action in some of those areas. There's the area that county has to the west of Gaylord by Carlton. And so, a large number of fireworks going off in that area, we're not able to take enforcement. Unfortunately, I think some things led to us maybe not writing as much, but, there was certainly the weather we talked about Friday was a lot of rain. And so I think we had people working that detail. We could have, if the rain would have not had been as heavy, I think we would have probably had some more enforcement action on Friday. But those were our numbers.
Thank you, and just for the record, I know you and we spoke at length yesterday, thank you so much. But I'm hoping that we'll have a meeting or some discussion about what is, like, to prepare for next year, and if we can have our own police to work that day, that we'll hire or figure out a solution, because it was the amount, it was above and beyond. And I understand it was the 250, but it's just, it was crazy, like crazy nonstop. So, but again, thank you for taking the time on a Sunday and talking to me.
I know I had called because there was a block party request over in my ward. And in the future, I will not okay any block parties for the 4th of July. The people that were on that street, which they had the block party, they had the street blocked off basically so they could all be shooting fireworks. I called the police department, they came out, and they asked if I would be willing to make a complaint about it, and I said yes. It's like, what about if I didn't make a complaint, then they wouldn't do anything, or?
Yeah, I can't answer the specifics on that as to the conversation the officers had, specifically as it relates to the 1800 block of Wilcox. That was the one incident where the officers wrote a written warning, and then they came back sometime later and did write a citation for it. So that was one of the areas where a citation was written on the 4th.
Well, the thing is, it was more than one person who was shooting off fireworks on that block. My wife has video, it looks like a war zone with all the smoke that's on that street. And I don't know what time the barricades are allowed to be up. I know I had to get up in the morning, so last time I drove by there at 10:30, there were still fireworks being shot and the barricades were still up. So I don't know how late the barricades are allowed to be up for a block party. I don't know all the ins and out of a block party, but looking at the permit, it doesn't really spell out a lot of do's and don'ts. There's very basic, it's vague, like no fires in the street. Well, if you're shooting off fireworks, that's plenty of fire right there. Granted, it's not a campfire, but still, it's kind of disappointing, hearing the ticket amount than what I saw going on throughout my ward. The sky was lit up. You wouldn't even need to go somewhere to watch fireworks, and all the loud noises and stuff like that. I don't know how, a lot of people I know were upset. I got some calls. And in the future, looking at the numbers that we were given for detail, 2-3 days in advance, to have a detail and have extra officers for one call or a few calls I think that's a waste of manpower, personally. We need it more on the actual day, the 4th. You know, with no tickets on Sunday, the day after. I know that day I got home from work in the evening and I think I heard 2 fireworks go off. That was it. So to have extra officers on patrol for that, I think is a waste of manpower. So I think in the future, we need to sit down, discuss how we're gonna go forward with our 4th of July enforcement. I would hope we could do that in the future, or before at least next year's 4th, how we're gonna have details or whatever.
I understand your concerns, and I think we'd be happy to discuss some different strategies going forward as far as, you know, the allocation of resources when it comes to those details. As you well know, you know, we can't always predict when they go off. Obviously, the 4th is going to be a day where they're going to go off, especially when the 4th of July is on a Saturday, and the 4th of July this year is the 250th anniversary. We had expectations that we were going to have some high numbers, but again, to your point, I'd be happy to sit down with the chief and discuss some strategies going forward that hopefully we could better address some of those enforcement concerns.
Yeah, because I know I called Blaine up on it that night as to some questions I had, and, you know, he let me know that there was no extra officers or anything on the 4th. It was kind of like what we would have tonight for the 4th, and then we have more officers on days prior to, and I just think we need to work on that.
Understood.
Thank you.
Do we know if the park district puts people out?
I can't
You
answer
don't
to
know,
that.
okay. Because we have the park on McGilvery. This has been like a habit every year. People from outside Remington, they come and they use that pound, they use that area, and they leave their garbage after that, and they leave. It's a huge show. I was like watching it from the front door. And last year I went and fought with them. This year I wasn't going to put myself in this risk anymore because they were like really brutal. But maybe we need to contact the park district as well. Maybe just like that couple hours they can have their patrol going around the parks. Because that's what usually a lot of people from the outside the community, they come and they do that.
Yeah, and we do have a good, obviously, relationship with Lockport Township Park District Police. They have brought concerns to us before. One of those calls was an assist to the Park District Police at Memorial Park off of Willow Court by the Arbor Apartments in Marlboro. So that was one where, you know, our officers were assisting. Technically, it wasn't our jurisdiction. So, but I agree. We can talk with them and formulate a plan that hopefully improves our numbers next year.
Awesome, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. Moving on to community development, our community development director, Dan Ritter. Dan?
For this particular item, I actually worked with Dan's subordinate, Don, our building commissioner, in regards to the interior windows and the speaker system to replace the windows that were either damaged through moving and/or the cleaning material. Again, as was discussed last week, there's the actual cost of the windows to replace as well as the audio system that is included in the packet, starting on page 289. Again, we looked at addressing after these windows are installed, if approved tonight by council, what we would do so that we would not have the same sort of issues occur. So in the police department, although we have different bullet-resistant windows, they are manufactured by the same company, and again, some of the cleaners would also negatively impact the windows. So they actually have warning stickers that are placed on the windows. Additionally, instead of having staff, contracted staff, we'd actually have staff with supervision, and so that would go into a monthly schedule to be cleaning the windows. So we're made sure that they are cleaned with the appropriate cleaners, which for these windows is water. As we've installed blinds on the inside, we'll also be able to post a sign that says, you know, now closed, so when they're closing the windows for the evening at 4:30, they'll now have an actual physical barrier on that one side, so that part of the window will no longer need to be cleaned unless there's the smudges, and we'll have, a normal schedule now for the windows to be cleaned, and the staff will be trained to say this is the specific bottles for those windows. And finally, the individuals that would be cleaning will be supervised from our new Public Works Superintendent, which oversees our operations, down to the crew leader, working on that and putting that onto a monthly, under their monthly supervision. So we do feel, unfortunately, for both safety reasons and really aesthetic, that we do need to replace those broken windows sooner than later. Don did reach out to several different vendors. Only one vendor did provide a proposal. The other ones declined, and so we tried for several months. We tried to get others. Others basically don't want to deal with the project. When we talk to them, the prices go up quite dramatically, as they would basically want to remove the walls and start off from scratch. So this is the most cost-effective. Again, it's a not to exceed at $53,500.
These are all the windows,
All five, correct.
including the Park District?
Don't believe the Park District one was damaged, but if it is in the damage, is it in the damage? Okay, so it's in the damage, so.
So the price will change then?
I think we went through, so I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it is included. There's
Okay.
5 windows that are.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, motion will be in order.
So moved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman DeSario. Approval to authorize the replacement of interior window and speaker systems in the interior City Hall foyer for an amount not to exceed $53,500. Questions or comments? Roll call, please, Chris.
Darrell Jefferson,
This is just for the windows, because it says plumbing and windows.
Sorry, the memo, maybe I missed it. Before, when we talked about it last week, it was plumbing and windows. This one should just be interior City Hall foyer window replacement, along with the speaker system. So the windows aren't gonna have the cutout like they have. Now it'll be an exterior speaker system. So the plumbing issue is one we'll be coming back with an update and talking about here with council, and have some video and photos as well. So plumbing is a separate topic.
Okay, I'm yes on the windows.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Angelo DeSario.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Besides that, I just had a couple quick updates. One of them, I wanted to let the council know that we were informed that there's an LOI on the 21225 Ladise Parkway property, the 577,000 square foot building. So obviously the largest vacancy in the town. So there's a letter of intent for a tenant to go into there that would face their occupancy in there. So we're pretty excited for that, to actually have a tenant moving into that building. So we don't have any of the specific details at this point, other than it would be a warehouse distribution tenant that would be storing stuff there, which is what that was designed for from the beginning. So looking forward to having that occupied though. So, and on the property tax rolls and employees and everything else that comes along with it. So that was good news. And then I know I'm probably a week behind on this, but the Route 66 signs are all up at their locations. We also have a web page, that's www.cityofcresthhill.com/RT66. That's just got some information about the signs, as well as Route 66 in general and events that are happening in the area. So wanted to share that, and I believe we'll have some social media posts and stuff on that coming up as well. So that is all I have, unless there's any questions.
Any questions of community development?
My favorite one is the one by Prairie Bluff. That's a nice one.
I kind of
I've
let the
seen-
Park District pick theirs first, so they picked that one.
Yeah.
I have a question for Dan. Dan, have you by chance had any requests or anyone approach you with the desire to build a data center in Crest Hill?
No, there hasn't been developers, property owners, or anybody.
Okay. I was just curious, I think it might be a good idea for that to be a topic to have on a work session agenda to discuss. We're all probably familiar with the data center in Joliet and all the controversy that brought, and there's a lot of controversy around data centers in general, wherever they're going in many times. I just think it'd be a good idea to have something in our books that relates to data centers in Crest Hill.
Sure. As of right now, it'd be a special use in, I think, probably the M1, M2 zoning districts, but, so it would always be up to council, but I think it's a good point that we can just have a quick discussion about it. And we'll be updating that use chart anyways with some of the other uses, and that might be a good time to just kind of clarify whatever the council's thoughts are on it. We can clarify that in there so that, and that helps us too, if anybody does approach us, we can let them know what the council thinks about it before they put in any time or effort.
Right.
That's certainly the type of direction that helps us. There's really not a lot of places they would go, but as things change, they may try and find anything they can.
Never know.
Right? So,
Yeah.
Good point. I can have that be just kind of a workshop discussion, maybe before I go forward with use chart changes, and we can kind of codify that.
Thank you.
Good job, Mark. That's a good point.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Moving on, unfinished business, we have nothing, anyone?
I just forgot to ask Blaine something. Blaine, if you could look into the monument sign on Broadway, the lights, they're still not working.
Sure.
Thank you.
New business, anybody? Committee liaison reports, anyone?
We have a report. We're partnering with Lockport Township for the back-to-school fair. Just for clarification, Alex wanted me to clarify that they will not be given any backpacks, only like a kit. It's like what you get from the school when you purchase supply. So no backpack, just a kit that has school supply. So that will be held in here on Friday, July 31st from 1 to 3 p.m. You must register to get a package. You need to call the 815-838-0380 and to register. So it's one per kid. That's all, Mayor. Oh, also, USA is losing right now, so you guys pray really hard. It's at 1 at 2, and it's a halftime. So go USA.
Anybody else? Okay, city council comments, this is positive city council comments. Anything you'd like to share with your constituents? Even with Alderman Dyke this evening?
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Alderman Desario?
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to say happy birthday to America, and if you get a chance, thank a vet, thank a police officer.
Alderman Jefferson?
Nothing at this time.
Alderwoman Gazal?
I said it, my comment.
Alderperson Oberlin?
Nothing.
Alderman Spitty?
Nothing tonight.
Alderman Albert?
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Alderman?
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Okay, public comment. Anyone like to address city council, please step to the podium. To the podium, ma'am. State your name for the record. Your address is optional.
Good evening. Thank you for listening to me. My name is Kathy Abele, A-B-E-L-E. I live at 16166 Huron. I'm here to discuss the situation of a four-way stop at Michigan and McGillivray. On the morning of July 4th, I was out walking at approximately 6:30 in the morning. Someone was going eastbound on McGillivray while I was crossing the street on McGillivray. They blew the stop sign. They came within 2 feet of approximately hitting me. Now, this is not an isolated case. It happens all day long, and I'd like to know if there's a way, I'd like a resolution to this problem, if possible.
Can I just answer her quickly? After we spoke on that Friday, I contacted the chief, and he was supposed to, he's on vacation, but he supposed to have police monitoring, but due to the holiday weekend, it's like, as you heard earlier, we're a little bit short, but Unfortunately, nobody stops at stop sign, but you know, you're aware of it, so.
Yeah, I would be happy to discuss with you after the meeting, and we
I
could.
really would appreciate that.
Yeah, we can set up a traffic detail. Maybe you could tell me, again, I'll meet with you about some of the specifics, but we could definitely set up a traffic detail for that area
I
specifically.
mean, it's not only my safety, it's the safety of everybody in our subdivision. I mean, there's a lot of kids and stuff like that
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
And I'd hate to see, I mean, he came, and I'm not lying, within 2 feet of hitting me.
Well, again, I'm sorry to hear that, and I'd be happy to work with you and get a detail set up, and, you know, we can have our sergeants implement it, just kind of depending on time frame.
I greatly appreciate it.
And
Thank you
we could-
very much for
We could
hearing
talk
me.
right
Thank
after
you.
this. Yep, thank you.
Maybe even the speed trailer?
I think a detail would probably be a little bit more
Yeah,
effective.
they need tickets,
Yeah,
because they know
yeah.
the trailer now doesn't have camera to
Yeah.
capture them.
Okay, anybody else? All right. To our city attorney, John, is there a need for an executive session?
No need, Your Honor. Or
Motion.
no need.
Motion to adjourn, Mayor.
We're not in court.
Call me Ray. We have a motion by
I like that
Alderman
new
Wright,
title.
seconded by Alderman Desario. Roll call.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Angelo Desario.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, meeting is adjourned at 8:16 PM. Thank you and good evening.